Assalamu alaikum and good day, everyone. Welcome to the MSA podcast. My name is Salha and I'll be your host for this evening. Tonight, we're recording our very first episode. So, to start with, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all the people tuning in to listen to us today. We really hope you enjoy this podcast, and we just wanted to have a little bit of something for everyone, inshallah. So, here we are, and here it is, a podcast from students to students. Now that we're through with that, here's what else makes this episode really special. I mean, besides the fact that it's the very first episode, here's what makes it really special. So to start with, this episode is going to be a two-part series, inshallah. And it's a series that's really just centered around the way Alfaisal students as a student body can come together and make a difference and really change someone's life. So in the second part of this episode, we're going to be meeting with Nurhan, inshallah, the brilliant fourth-year student, also known as the sister of 2-year-old Ghina, who put on a brave face and rose against all odds in order to support her sister. But that's for the second part. As for the first part of this episode, it's going to feature something that not many people may remember or many people may know of, and that is the story of Nobi Alam. So Nobi is a fifth-year medical student from Alfaisal, obviously, and he has an incredible story to share with us today, as well as many lessons for us to learn. And here he is, right here with us. So Assalamu alaikum, Nobi, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Walaikum salam, Saliha. How's everything?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so first of all, we're very grateful to have you here today with us, and thank you so much for letting us share your story with all these people and all these listeners. And we really hope that it'll, bring a difference to people's lives, inshallah. So to begin with, before we get into the details of everything, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Nobi Alam. I'm currently a fifth-year medical student, and I've always been involved with the university quite a lot. I remember when I started in UPP, I joined as a UPP student. I remember joining the Islamic Club, and I took over the vice presidency of the Islamic Club, and I remember running it for almost 4 years now.
Wow. Okay.
And right now I'm not affiliated with it, but I remember UPP first year, second year, third year. So up until that, I was always involved with the university as much as I could, and I helped out as much as I can.
So you became vice president of the Islamic Club as a UPP student, like fresh out of high school, and that was the first thing you did.
Yeah, that's the thing, because when I came to UP, I remember I was sitting in the mosque, and I was checking the website for an Islamic club or an Islamic body presence in the university, and that's when I saw that the website had listed an Islamic club, while it was not active at all. Like I was 6 months into the university already, like one semester in, and I saw all the clubs being active when I saw that the Islamic club wasn't being active. So I was like, "What's up?" So I approached the student affairs, and they're like, it has been dead for almost 2 years now. No one's taking the position and everything. So I was like, fine, I'll take it. So that's when I took they offered me the presidency right away. I'm like, no, I'm not ready yet. So I'll just take the vice presidency. So after that, I tried to revive the club as much as I can. And I never actually took the presidency because I thought I wasn't capable enough. So each year, someone new replaced the presidency position.
Regardless, I must admit the Islamic Club is probably one of the best clubs that we have here at this university, and the things that they do, mashallah, and the events that they hold are incredible. So clearly you're someone who's definitely very motivated, has always been very motivated, so mashallah. All right, so now coming to this story of the actual incident that we're here to talk about. So can you describe the morning of the day everything happened? What was that like for you?
All right, so it was a usual day for me. It was 4th of April. I was, as usual, I'm a creature of habit, so I always do everything on a schedule. So everything I do is fixed. I've been doing the same thing over and over again. So I had a class at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, what year were you in at this point in time?
I was in year 3.
Year 3.
Year 3, second semester. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is 4th of April, 2019, and you're in year 3, second semester.
Yeah,
so you were probably doing like GI, I think.
I think I was doing Endorepro.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it was a normal day, 9 o'clock. I live 15 minutes away from the university. So as usual, I had my breakfast. I woke up at 7:30, had my breakfast, and got out at 8 o'clock because I always like to be in class half an hour before the class actually starts.
Right.
Talk with people and everything. So I left at 8, maybe 8:10. And so I was in no hurry. I was in no rush to get to the university because I have way over time. It takes me 10 minutes to 15 minutes to come to the university.
Right.
So I was on my way and everything. And
So far, it's a regular morning. Everything seems fine.
yeah, regular morning and everything. I take the King Saud Road, so in front of the Intercontinental. The Intercontinental is on my right side.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was just coming, and one thing I always do is that I never go above 120. So because as soon as you hit 120, everyone knows that you hit a tick tick sound.
Right.
And so whenever I used to hear that sound, I always used to decrease my speed as a reminder that keep going down. That's why it's there. So I remember I did not hear that sound or anything, so I was well below 120.
What's the speed limit on King Saud Road?
It's a fairly big road, but it's within the city, so I would say 80 was the speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
within
80.
the city. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was going my way, and I just got on the King Saud Road, and it's a big lane. It's a 4-lane road. So Intercontinental was 3 lanes away from me. So I was on the speed lane. I was on
You're
the
in
fast
the fast lane.
Yeah, I'm in the fast lane.
Okay.
And I see a car come out from the first gate of Intercontinental.
Mm-hmm.
It was way far away because it's 3 lanes away from me.
Right, massive road, big road, many lanes.
And so I did not think of slowing down or maybe watch out for him.
Plus, you're in the fast lane, so it's not like
exactly.
cars in the
So I'm
fast
not
lane
expecting
slow
him
down.
to come directly into the fast lane.
Yeah.
So I was going, and without any indicators, the car had no indicators or anything. It went straight into the fast lane.
Ooh.
And it was in a way so that the car was almost perpendicular to the road.
Oh,
so
my
it was
goodness.
blocking
Okay.
2 lanes. So it was straight like this. Perhaps maybe the car wanted to take a U-turn, which was right before the signal.
Oh, okay.
But
All
at
right,
least
all
the
right.
car would come like this, like in a parallel fashion. But it came perpendicularly straight to the road. So it was blocking 2 lanes.
Mhm.
And at that point, I realized that there's no way I can brake and not hit the guy. So I was like,
Right.
at least I won't hit the guy, so I'll just swerve right by him. So I had to cross 2 lanes so that in order not to hit him.
Mhm.
But as soon as I crossed 2 lanes, it was on a bit of a speed, I guess. And that's when I started losing control.
Oh.
So I lost control. I swerved 2-3 times. And I was like, okay, there's no way I can stop the car. So maybe at least like if I hit the tree between the two roads. So I was like, all right, let me just hit this tree so that at least the car stops.
So now you start moving to the left?
To the left, to the
Towards
opposite side
middle
of the road. Yeah.
Middle of the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
because on the right side, it was
In
a
between.
complete walls, the wall of the hotel and
Oh,
everything. So I
alright,
was like,
okay.
if I hit this, it's going to be even tougher for me.
Right.
It might cause more damage. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me at least hit the tree on the right side of the car. That way it doesn't affect me.
And at least the car would stop and not risk the lives of everyone else in the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I tried to do, but I missed the tree and I happened to go over the pavement. I remember I was in the air for a while. And,
Oh my God.
And that's most of the things I remember. And that's when I lost my consciousness or something.
Mhm.
But apparently what happened next was oncoming traffic opened and a car came and hit me.
Right. As you landed on the other side
As I
into
landed on-
incoming traffic.
Yes.
Oh.
So I briefly, I don't remember this part because I think I lost my, my consciousness right before it happened or something. And I was wearing my seatbelt and everything, yet I lost my consciousness. So, and the car that happened to hit me was it was a fairly expensive car. It was a Lexus SUV.
Oh my. I'm
So,
sorry to
yeah.
hear.
So, and then what I remember is that then I did get my consciousness back. And the first thing I remember is I saw a friend right beside me. And out of all odds,
A familiar face.
a familiar face out of, like, I never expected to see someone, I know.
What are the odds of a familiar face being on King Saud? So, like, how did this person end up there?
I have no idea. Like, we live nearby, so we usually take the same road to the university. So he just happened to be behind me.
He happened to be driving behind you.
Right
as you were
behind me.
leaving? Wow.
Yeah,
And
I didn't know
saw
that he
this
was behind
happen?
me, and he saw the accident happen and everything. It was
Okay.
actually 2 people that saw it. It was this friend of mine and another friend of mine. So 2 friends in 2 separate cars saw this happen
They were both on the road at the same time.
at the
and
same
they saw
time.
this happen.
Yeah,
Wow. So,
and so I remember him telling me, he was holding me and he was like, "Nobi, just breathe," because I hit the steering wheel so hard I couldn't breathe for a while, and I thought that maybe this is it, And I couldn't breathe for almost like a minute. I was just gasping for breath. And that's when it was like, just breathe, just somehow breathe. And alhamdulillah, I was able to breathe and it was good. But then the next thing I noticed is that, of course, I did not have any pain right at that moment. But the one thing I noticed was I was completely incapable of moving my left arm above the elbow. So my forearm wasn't moving at all. And I tried feeling what happened, and I could feel the bone sticking out.
oh goodness.
I was in my scrubs and lab coat, yet the bone came out of the scrubs, the lab coat. It pierced the scrubs and the lab coat. And but alhamdulillah, it was my left hand. I drive with my left hand, my non-dominant hand,
Okay.
because I like to keep my hand on the steering wheel, my right hand. And so I couldn't feel my arm or anything, and it was a horrible, like at that moment it was
It must have been absolutely terrifying.
one of the most horrible things I've ever felt. And and then the ambulance came, but the ambulance came within, let's say, 10 minutes. But even before that, within 5 minutes, I had at least 5 or 6 cars from Alfaisal. Like the car, there was a traffic behind, like the accident they were passing by, but there were more cars parked, and all were from Alfaisal, from my batchmates who were standing and trying to get me out or telling me that it's okay.
That in itself must have been such support for you in that moment.
And by then, the class has already started and everything. And no, the class did not start, but yet the fact that they had a class and yet they still came and everything, that was great. And I was surprised to see that 5-6 familiar faces standing around me.
That's incredible, subhanAllah. Like,
and
the coincidence as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like many people use that road, as far as I know. I don't think it's
because it never has any traffic. It never has any traffic.
Okay.
So that's why I live in Olaya. So from there, just a 10-minute drive. And even before the ambulance came, I already have like 6-7 of my batchmates standing beside me. And then the ambulance was called and everything. Within 15 minutes, I believe the ambulance came. But the problem was they couldn't get me out of the car. What happened was the impact was, my right side was completely fine. The left side of the car was completely destroyed. So I hit the left side of the car face first.
Because you were essentially going to the left side of the road. And so the left side of your car is what impacted it. And then you went on to the other incoming side, basically. And so your left side is
gone. And I remember I couldn't even move my legs because the engine happened to be on my legs now. The impact was so hard. I could feel the engine, the heat of the engine on my legs. And I could feel it crushing my legs down. And so I couldn't move it and anything. So the ambulance couldn't get me out as well. They called the fire brigade and they came. And that's when they had to chainsaw the door or whatever. And they had to cut open the part of the car to pull me out. And then again, the engine was on my leg. So they had to go to the front of the car, pull the engine out, and then, take me out.
And they were finally able to get you out.
Yeah. So that took a good half an hour to 40 minutes. So I'm in that condition for a good amount of time.
Oh, God.
And so they take me to the hospital. It was a public hospital. And and after that, even in the emergency, it's a public hospital. So you can understand that, it's crowded and they don't have all the resources to attend to you.
At this point, does your family know what's going on?
The thing is, even I don't remember much during this entire time. This was all told by my friends. Like I said, the first hit I had, and I just remember a brief moments in the car when they were getting me out, and that's it. I don't even remember the ambulance ride or anything because I believe
the fire brigade or the getting you out.
Moments of it, because I believe as soon as the ambulance saw me, they gave me a sedative or something, and I don't remember anything after I don't remember the ambulance ride at all.
I think when it comes to incidents like these, I've been in a car accident once myself as well. And I think when it comes to like situations like these, the shock itself is so much that you're not able to comprehend many things except for like little insignificant details.
Yeah, true.
Like, for example, you mentioned the heat of the engine on your legs. Like that's something you remember. In my case, it was like I could hear a child crying. I don't know who it was or whose child it was or where it was coming from, but I could and that's the only memory I have of.
Yeah, exactly. Like I read it somewhere that, when you have a traumatic experience, your brain tries to forget, shoves that to the
almost
side.
Almost like everything shuts out. Like your brain is just solely focused on staying alive. And that's all you're trying to do.
Just not make you remember what you're going through. Yeah. So anyways, I come to the public hospital, and that's when I started remembering things. And now I'm starting to remember things now because the pain is kicking in.
Right.
Because right now, when you're in a traumatic situation, you have the adrenaline and everything, you don't feel pain.
The shock especially just sort of
the shock takes over
the
pain.
Yeah.
But now that everything's over and everything, I started feeling the pain and everything, especially my arm, and my left side is completely like...
you can't feel your left arm below the elbow at all.
Below the elbow, and I can feel my chest tightening up. I can feel my ribs tightening up and my legs hurting as well. And so that's when I'm just screaming in pain. It almost 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I still have not a single doctor coming to do any examination on me.
Oh my God. This is because it's a public hospital. It must be really busy ER.
So almost 40 minutes and no attendee came to me. And apparently my friends were also telling me that, when I was in that situation, the one thing I kept saying is, don't tell my parents. I can't put them through this.
You didn't want them to know?
So yeah, they did not know about the accident until 5 hours into it, almost 5 hours into it. So I begged them that, again, this friend of mine, the one that saw the accident, he's a very close friend of mine. So I kept begging him that don't tell my parents. I mean, he forced me that open your phone at least so that I can have the number, but I refused to open the phone.
What were you afraid of? Like, you just didn't want to worry them?
Just the disappointment, I didn't want to worry them, and at the same time, fine, it's my parents at the end of the day, but I was thinking that what can they do at this moment? I mean, these are friends of mine, they're medical students and everything. They would
right.
they would help me more than my parents, so might as well keep them out of the way until it's in a better
Until things settle down and you can finally tell them.
And especially
completely
about
what
my
to do.
mom. My dad is strong, alhamdulillah, but my mom is she has a chronic disease and everything. I was like, not at the moment. Let me get better and then I can break it
Right.
to her. And I was thinking that, okay, maybe this is not as big as it looks. Maybe it's just a simple fracture. They'll just put me in a cast and I'm out of the hospital.
Right.
But it turns out to be much more than that. Anyways, so for 30, 40 minutes, I still don't happen to have anything. And then what happened was, again, someone from Alfaisal, a friend of mine, his dad happened to be an emergency doctor. So
wow,
he was
okay.
on shift in that emergency.
In that hospital?
In that hospital.
wow,
Like coincidence after coincidences. And he was like, Dad, just see what happened. So as soon as his dad was informed, the whole team came and they moved me into the emergency care, and they took care of me. And over there, I just remember that, they're like, they were telling me what's happening, and they were doing the normal examinations, trauma examinations and everything. And they gave me a sedative where they said that they'll set my bone in place. So they're like, it's a retrograde sedative. So what happens is we'll give you a sedative and you will lose your senses for a few seconds and we'll pull your bone back in together because it was displaced out of proportion. Like I said,
like it was sticking out. You mentioned it was
yeah. So they were like,
right.
we'll need to at least put it back in place and then we'll put a cast on it. So I agreed and everything. And so that's when they put me in a cast. And again, I was in a lot of pain, so I was. They put me in a sedative, and I think for that day itself, I don't remember anything else. And the next day, I'm fine. I'm still in a lot of pain. They've put me in IV paracetamol or IV painkillers and everything.
Oh, okay. And by this time, your family knows. Your family's
they're
at the
here.
hospital.
Yeah, like I said, I think 5-6 hours later, they got to know, and they were beside me. And the next morning, I remember. And one thing I remembered was that cops were keep coming and going outside my room. They kept checking me. Is he doing okay? And I was like, why are cops checking on me? So he's like, can he walk? Is there any way he's moving? So he kept asking that, can you walk? Like not even the doctors or nurses were asking me that, can you walk or not? It was a cop always asking me, like, can you walk? I'm like, no, I can't walk. And then the next morning, they're like, one of the nurses were like, this is what happened. You hit into a car who you owe now 80,000 riyals.
80,000.
And since it's clearly your fault, I mean, even whatever happened, it's your fault since you're on the oncoming traffic. Whatever the rules are, even if it wasn't your fault, by law, it's your fault.
Like you are now financially responsible to compensate this person for their losses.
Yes. And the car did not have insurance, so I couldn't cover that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it was a Lexus.
Yeah.
With no insurance.
Yeah. So, and I was like, so the nurses were like, we're doing anything we can to delay you from entering now what happened was that you'll be put into a jail room.
A jail room?
Which is basically a room which has, it's basically prison bar in a hospital. It's prison in a hospital. So the room is locked up. No one can enter except a head nurse and a head doctor. And none of your parents can friends or a family can enter, and you can't leave the room as well.
So nobody's allowed to see you in this room?
Unless I pay 80,000 riyals.
Oh
and so the nurse was like, this is what your situation is. So you'll be put in the room as soon as the room is ready. So that's when they put me in the room, and that was one horrible moment as well. Like,
it must have been terrifying.
I remember my parents hugging me and everything, and they're like, "We'll see you. Don't worry. We'll get this sorted out as soon as possible." They put me in the room. They locked me up and everything, and I still couldn't move. Like even picking up a glass of water I couldn't drink a glass of water. I had to call out the nurse. The nurse had to come and feed me water. Okay. Because even though my right hand is fine, it's still in a lot of pain.
Right. Your whole body must be in a lot of pain.
Yeah. So the injuries were my fracture on my left arm. It's called a comminuted fracture. What happens is that your bone breaks into fragments.
Basically shatters.
Yeah, shatters into fragments. So my bone was apparently broken into 4 pieces, my olecranon.
Oh, okay.
And that's the joint that connects your forearm to your
elbow. Upper arm.
Humerus. Yeah. So that was the thing. And then my clavicle was broken, my left clavicle. But it was a hairline fracture.
Okay.
My 2 ribs were all on the left side. 2 of my ribs were broken.
Understandably, given that your left side.
Yeah, exactly. And I had several contusions on my chest. And my left leg had a lot of contusions as well. And my right arm was just weak because my chest was contused, so I couldn't move my right arm.
Right.
So I couldn't even pick up a glass of water to
Everything
drink.
must have been difficult at this point. Breathing,
Just even
moving, coughing, exactly.
coughing would just put
Speaking,
put
anything.
out a pain through my entire
Mhm.
body. So I couldn't even drink a glass of water while I was in that jail room. You know, I remember shouting, screaming for that. Just someone give me a glass of water. Someone feed me. And for 2-3 hours, the food was right in front of me, but I couldn't eat it just because I simply couldn't reach it. Nurses had to finish their shifts to come feed me. So I was screaming that at least someone come feed me. And so 1 week goes by, 2 week goes by. I'm gaining my senses back, so I can start eating. I think 2 weeks in, I'm starting to walk now. And I was doing everything on my own. But at that time, what happened was prior to the accident, my dad lost his job 3 months ago. So 3 months before the accident, my dad lost his job, and we were already living paycheck to paycheck. So he always made, like, whatever money he got or had, it always went into my university fees. So we were always making the fees, and that's it. That's all we had. And so there's no way he could ever pay the 80,000 riyals. So 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think almost at the end of 3.5 weeks. And it's a time that my dad told me that, you know, it's just not possible. I'm trying my best, but I cannot pay this 80,000 riyals. We tried convincing the person I crashed into that, look, at least let me get out and have the surgery or something, and we'll pay you back.
And what does this person say?
He refused any offer. He was like, no, you have to pay me and I cannot do anything. So 3 weeks in, and I'm just frustrated at this point. And that's when news came out to the university. You know, they were wondering what's happening.
Wondering where their student has been for the past 3 weeks.
Why isn't he, like, they know that I need a surgery. It's everything else is fine. I just need a surgery of my left arm, which is called an ORIF.
ORIF.
Yes. Open reduction with internal fixation. So what happens is they cut your skin open. They expose the bones, and they, like a jigsaw puzzle, they try to find the bones in the missing pieces. They try to fix it like a jigsaw and hold it in place with the plates
I have a
and
question.
screws.
This whole time, how have they been how have they placed your arm in a cast for this whole time?
It's in a cast.
It's in a cast, but it still needs this ORIF surgery.
It needs a surgery.
Yeah.
And so they're wondering that why am I not doing the surgery? Why am I not back and everything? So that's when they got to know. I tried to keep it as low as possible about this financial situation.
Right.
But eventually it got out. And I was the one that told the very first person who saw me in the accident.
Right.
So I told him that this is what's happening and I can't do anything. So that's when the community came together. My batch mates, everyone from a lot of Alfaisal students and everything, they came and they pitched in whatever they could.
So students now are starting to come forward themselves.
Yes, now they're banding together and they're
starting
trying
to figure out something for you.
Yeah,
on their own, right?
On their own, exactly. Right. And they tried to help me as much as they could. And within 3 days, the 80,000 riyals was raised.
Within 3 days.
Exactly. To this day, I feel like it's one of the miracles I've witnessed myself.
That is literally prayers being answered by Allah. Like, honestly.
Like, I remember, I mean, even when my friends were saying that we're trying our best, we're giving you as much as we can, and I'm like, there's no hope. I still lost hope. I'm like, this is not gonna happen.
What did you think was gonna happen at this point?
I was like, I'm in the worst situation possible, so all the worst type of situation were coming to me. So I was like, this is where I'm gonna be all my life, or I'm gonna be deported back to my country, and so all the worst possible scenarios were going through my head. And so I was like, okay, it gave me hope that, okay, fine, maybe people are trying to help, they're trying to pitch in, but it's still at 80,000 riyals. There's no way it's going to be raised.
At this point, you've basically given up on the idea of getting enough money, and now you're sort of thinking about other options.
Exactly. Like, what are my other options,
Right.
And so within 3 days, I'm still hopeless and everything.
And do you know this is happening? Do you know that people are like starting to?
Yes, I was informed that, they took my permission. It's like, do you want us to help you out? And I'm like, yes, help me out.
Okay.
And even then I was like, it's not possible. So I was aware that the money they're trying to pitch in and everything, they're trying to help me out. But at the end of the third day, I remember they opened the room, and my parents came in, and they came running and hugging me. It's like, the money has been raised and you're free to go.
Oh, wow.
And so the money was given, and the money was sent to that person, and I was able to go. And they were like, you can move to a normal room right now. One thing I need to mention is that with this, the orthopedic of that hospital, the surgeon of that
public hospital,
he saw my hand, and he was like, "Oh, you have your surgery scheduled for." This was in, let's say, 2 weeks into the 2 weeks into the accident.
So now this is probably like April 18th or something.
Yeah,
like
April
that.
18th, 20, something like that. He's like, we'll do your surgery tomorrow morning. And he was like, one of the I don't know the amount of rules he broke when he spoke to me, but he was like, this is the worst case of fracture I've ever seen. I've never seen something like this in my life. And your hand is beyond repair, but I'll try my best. And your hand you'll lose 90%, 80% of your arm.
Oh, wow.
Which means my arm will be stuck at a 90-degree angle.
So
that adds to all the pressure I already have.
Right. And this is, this like before any of the money has been pulled. He's already told you
this is 2 weeks in. The money was coming in after the third week.
Right.
And so he's like, your arm will be in a 90-degree angle. It will be fixed and you'll be disabled and there's no way anything you can do about it.
Oh my God.
And at least it was a public hospital, so they were like, it will be free of charge or anything, so don't worry about that. I'm like, okay, fine, I accept it. But at the same time, I was like, this cannot be right, because being a med student, I was like, there must be something better.
Surely there must be something else.
There's no way it is that bad. I'm young and everything. So
plus, at this point, you've done MSI, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you understand like what ORIF is.
So I finished everything,
right?
And
exactly.
I'm like, it cannot be that worse, because I've never heard cases where you were disabled after an accident, or a fracture would just completely leaves you disabled.
We're like 20%, we're only 20% or something of the function is retained.
So, and that's when I tell one of my friends that, this, I cannot do this, and can you look into it? Like probably look for another surgeon or try to get a second opinion. So he came to the hospital, he took all the x-rays, all the CT scan, they did some spiral CT scans and everything, and he took it to all the hospitals he could. And before that, by now Dr. Khalid Al-Qattan, he is aware of my situation. So he was like, he also started taking updates of what's going on. Even President Hayaza, Dr. Hayaza was
right.
Because his sons were in my batch. So they informed his dad, and they're like, this is the situation. So the entire university is aware of my situation, even on the higher ups and everything.
Even the professors, all of them know,
professors and everything. So Dr. Khalid is like, what is the case and what's going on? And he was informed of the situation. And Dr. Khalid is like, I have someone in mind. I know a surgeon who is an excellent surgeon, and let me speak to him. So he talks to his colleague, who is Dr. Fahad Al-Sati, and they were apparently in the same batch. They graduated together and everything. So he was like, this is the situation, and what can you do? So he's like, I will refer the case to my son, who his son happens to be also an orthopedic surgeon.
Who was his son's name?
Dr. Mahd Al-Sati.
Isn't he the person who teaches us sports medicine and MSI?
Exactly. He used to. He retired, I think,
He retired after
semester.
teaching us. Like we were the last 11th batch was the last batch.
Yeah, exactly. So Dr. Mahd Al-Sati got to know the case, and immediately as soon as he got to know the case, he called me right away in the hospital.
Wow.
He's like, and he happens to remember me, because I always used to be a front bencher asking questions and everything.
Oh,
so
you were that kid.
Yeah, I am. And then Dr. Mahd is like, I remember you and everything. You were one of my students, and I remember everything. And I'm willing to do the surgery. And he was like, if you trust me, then do exactly what I tell you to. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do what you tell me to. He's like, call the nurse.
It's a big thing to say, though, like, if you trust me, because given your situation, there's a lot going on.
He explained me the procedure. He's like, this is the entire procedure, because I didn't know the procedure was. And he explained it to me properly. And he's like, I can guarantee you at least 90%. He's like, I've done hundreds of these surgeries, because he's a sports medicine doctor, and he's a well-known doctor in the entire kingdom.
This is what really?
Yeah, he's a very well-known surgeon in the kingdom.
And this is his job. Like, this is exactly what he specializes in.
He's a sports medicine doctor, yeah. So it's like, I know your case. I've done hundreds of these surgeries, and I know that I can give you at least 80 to 90% of your arm back. So he's like, do whatever I tell you, and follow my instructions. I'm like, all right, fine. So he goes like, call the nurse, and I'm like, yeah, all right. I called her, and he's like, now ask for a refusal for treatment form. So I was like, okay, I'll do it.
So you're basically like, technically, you're denying treatment from this hospital that you're at.
So,
oh my God.
So the refusal of treatment form, I signed the form and everything. So from that point forward, they will only give me to relieve my symptoms, but they will not treat me in any way possible. So they'll relieve my symptoms, as in my pain. They'll just give me painkillers, and that's it.
But this is obviously a very big thing for you to do, even because you were in a lot of pain and you had
exactly.
a lot of,
and
like,
the thing was,
what
helped me was that, the fact that Dr. Khalid approved the surgeon, and the fact that I know him to be a very well surgeon and everything. So that's what motivated me that I should reject the surgery at that.
And you should trust this man. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So while he was on the phone and everything, I did all the things. So I went home, and the very next day, Dr. Mahd calls me, and he's like, I moved around a lot of surgeries, and your surgery is at 9 a.m. and just come to the hospital.
This is at King Faisal Hospital?
No, he took me to Elite Hospital. It's a hospital in Tahlia.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So I was booked in an OR for in the Elite Hospital, and I remember going there, and they did the surgery and everything. And I remember my parents told me that as soon as the surgery was done, Dr. Fahad and Dr. Maat came out running and happy, and there was alhamdulillah, this
Oh wow,
was one of
alhamdulillah.
the most beautiful surgeries I've ever done. I'm surprised how well it was done. It was successful, and
Amazing.
inshallah it will be done. So while they showed my parents a video of them moving my arm, and it was
Oh
almost
wow.
bending, like
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So they showed my parents and everything, so they were happy and everything. And yeah, so and I was in the hospital for 2 days, and I was able to go home.
Only 2 days. Cool.
Only 2 days.
And
Yeah.
then they put a cast on, and you were
Yeah, they took off the cast on the third day, and I was moving my arm completely and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
then also came a very very challenging part. They're saying that I've lost a lot of my arm function, so I'll have to be under extensive physiotherapy. And the physiotherapy was a really horrible
enduring
because I remember the first few days they used to put pads on my arm, and they used to send electric shocks through those pads into my arm, so to wake up the muscles, because the muscles are dying off right now.
Oh, okay, right. With
And
the
then
atrophying, they've started dying.
and
oh,
then
okay.
and because of the inflammation, they used to put my arm in very hot water to help with the edema and
See,
everything.
I think this is a part of like bad fractures that people don't really know about. People always know about the surgery. Yeah, there's a surgery happens, but they don't really hear much about the physiotherapy.
Yeah, it's like, the surgery fixes everything, but the physiotherapy, it can work as a miracle as well. Even at that time, I was still going under a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety, because I was like, okay, fine, my arm is fixed, but at the same time, my arm was stuck at like this. I couldn't move it or anything.
Oh, like the bones were fixed, but you couldn't move it. You didn't have
anything.
Control.
So I was like, what was the point of the surgery? Like, at least it's stuck it straight, so I cannot move it at all. So what the doctors had to do was I remember for the first 2 months of the physiotherapy, I had to go for physiotherapy for almost 1 year.
Oh wow, a year. Okay.
A year. And I remember the first few months, there were two people that used to hold me down. And the main doctor, he used to come, and while I was lying down, two doctors held me down, while the other doctor came and forced my elbow into place. Like, it was stuck straight. There's no way I could move anything. So he forcefully moved it until
that must have been
it went as
insanely
much as it
painful.
could.
Was that
Exactly.
not? Oh my god.
I used to scream out through the entire process.
They
and
wouldn't give you
everything.
painkillers or anything? Nothing?
No, they said that the pain actually helps, that it tells us when we should stop moving it anymore.
So like the whole point is to put you in pain, basically.
Yeah, so that it's an indication of how much we should be moving the arm at all.
Okay.
So, and then 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, and after 1 year, alhamdulillah, my arm was completely back to normal.
Oh, I have to ask at this point, your family, are they still here at this point, or have they?
That's one thing. My family, they were already planning to leave. Like,
Right,
before the
yeah.
accident, they were planning to leave the country because, my dad lost his job and everything. So,
Oh, okay.
and but when the accident happened, their flight was actually 3 days away from the accident.
3 days before your
Yeah.
accident.
And
my God.
so they were like, as soon as the accident happened, they had to cancel their flights and they had to stay back.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 months, 4 months. 4 months after the accident, they left. They went for Bangladesh, so they moved permanently over there.
Okay, they moved. They left. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
All right,
I was
okay,
here
I'm sorry.
alone, and I had one other sibling, and so they all moved back to Bangladesh.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I lived alone. I've been living alone since
So
then.
this entire physiotherapy that you're doing is without your family.
I mean, yeah, the first 4 months was without them, with them. But after that, I mean, when things got better, I told them that it's enough. You can go. Like, they kept asking me that, should we leave? Do you want our help? And I'm like, fine.
Oh, okay.
4 months in, I was already doing pretty good.
Okay.
So I was like, it's okay to leave and everything, because we really couldn't take care of all the financial and everything. Because yes, there was money given to the guy I crashed into, but at the same time, there were a lot of other expenses along with the accident, which
Right, and if you're
which they had to afford.
Oh, okay. Your own car, of course, and like the other things and
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that car was total, by the way. It never ran. So they're like, there's
they never repaired it.
I remember this when the tow truck that took the car, he's our neighbor. So he lives.
okay.
So when my dad saw the accident, he called him and he was like, take the car and do what you want and say what you can do. So so once 1 month into it, after 1 month after I come back home after the surgery and everything, the guy comes and he hugs my dad and he's consoling my dad. He's like, I'm sorry for your loss and everything. And my dad was like, what do you mean? He's like, didn't you say, what about your son? And he's like, no, he's in the room. He's right there. And then he ran to my room and he came and hugged me. He's like, I've
Oh.
seen accidents. I've towed thousands of cars. I'm doing this job since 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen accidents. In this accident, the person usually doesn't survive.
Oh my God.
So he was like, I was already contemplating the worst. I was hugging your
So
dad,
he'd
thinking
already
that
assumed that you had.
I passed away
Oh
or
my God.
something. And so he was like, it is a
Wow.
miracle that you are surviving.
Subhanallah.
And he was like, it's miraculous that you're still with us.
Mm-hmm.
So alhamdulillah and everything. And so yeah, my parents left and everything. And the main issue was, even after all this, what I was struggling with the most is that the mental part that came with it.
Right.
I remember that after the accident, 1 month was fine, 2 months it was fine, but then what happened was, I used to wake up. Whenever I used to go to sleep, I used to see the accident happening over and over again. So I used to see the accident happen.
Flashbacks,
Nightmares. And when the crash happened, that's when I wake up from my sleep screaming.
Gosh.
Sometimes it even went beyond that. Sometimes I could feel way more than that. Like I could feel I'm living the same thing over and over, like exact picture to picture. So I used to have that nightmare at least 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh my goodness.
And so it was really affecting my life. It was I could barely sleep again.
Affecting your energy. I'm sure.
And so it came to a point where I was trying to stay awake. It's like, you know what, I won't sleep. I used to drink a lot of coffee and try not to go to sleep, just so that I don't get to leave that over and over again.
This must have really impacted your studying as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I missed the first block. I missed 2 blocks already because of the accident. Because after the surgery, they told me that at least 3-4 months you need to be bed rest again. So the thing was, during the accident, one other thing that was really that surprised me was that it was actually exam season going on.
Oh.
So despite it being exam season, everyone still banded together and helped me.
Everyone still.
So that was one of the reasons why I also lost hope. Why I had no hope as well. It was like, it's the exam season. Everyone is busy with their exams. There's no way the money is gonna come. Right. But despite that, it still worked. So I missed 1 block. I missed two.
See, I remember this story. I was myself in first year at the time. This is 2019, right? I was in first year, yeah. And I think I was in the renal block. I was either in HLS or I was in renal.
Okay.
And I remember hearing about this. Like, I remember hearing about this guy who was in a car accident. And the first thought in my head was, like, if I can pitch in something, I should. And if I can get anyone else help, like, even though it's not like there's like a whole organized event going on, or if it's something planned, it was just like whoever can do something to help should help. Like, everyone should do their part to help a Muslim brother in need. So that's really what everyone was doing. Like, that was the only thing that was in our minds when we heard about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even while in the hospital, like my phone was complete, and it was always buzzing with messages that Nobi, we're with you, we're supporting you. Don't worry. Even to my parents, there were students reaching out to my parents from the university. They knew that there was the only car I had. So they were offering rides to my parents. It's like, do you want us to take us to the hospital? Is there anything we can do for you?
It's really the little things that matter so much.
So I always had people messaging me that, no, we're waiting for you. We're just come back to us as soon as possible and everything. So that gave me a lot of strength as well. So anyways, like I said, after the accident, that was the main thing I was struggling with, just the mental aspect of it.
Right.
It destroyed me for a long time, and I couldn't eat properly. I couldn't sleep, and it was really horrible.
All the other things added, like the fact that your family wasn't there before. You were living with your family for all this time, and suddenly they're not there anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you think it changed your life to be struggling with all this at the same time after,
I really cannot say the amount of change it has brought in me, but it changed my life in so many ways I cannot even tell you. Like I like with my parents leaving and all, I had to learn to become independent and everything, and basically just started to realize that how life is so fragile. Within a blink of an eye, you can just lose it anytime you want. The things you take for granted you can lose it at any second. It's just gone.
And I feel like every day, like, we wake up, right, and we're just like, oh, these things would never happen to us. Like, it can happen to other people. But, oh, I would never be affected by this.
Exactly.
Like we really don't think about how everything sort of can come to you too. Like, one day it's them, the next day it could be you. Today it was them, tomorrow it could be you. Tomorrow it could be happening to you. And we really we're just so naive or just so consumed by our own lives that we don't really I feel like we don't, or like we know it at the back of our heads that this could happen to us, but we don't really.
But we don't stop to imagine that
We don't
we can
actually
be in
stop
that
to
situation as
consider it.
well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
everything you
that's the
take for
thing.
granted, just
You really do take for granted.
like just the fact that you having your parents around, it's such a blessing as well, you know.
Right.
Like I'm not ashamed to say it, but I'm a big mama's boy, you know. Like I needed coffee, I used to just scream out coffee, and then coffee is just right in front of me, you know.
Oh wow.
And my mom used to do everything for me, like from cooking to everything. I couldn't even cook an egg if I wanted to. That's how bad I was. So even just when they left, that's when I realized that the blessing of just having your parents around is
Just
something.
having a mom to do things for you.
Exactly.
Having a dad to take
You
care
cannot
of
even
things.
imagine how like the saying that you don't know the value of something until you lose it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the thing.
And I also think like a lot of times when we wake up in the morning and like you know how there's like adhkar sabah and masa and stuff, and like we just sort of we think about it, and like sometimes we're just like, oh yeah, not today, like oh whatever, it's fine. But then it's literally these things that could save your life.
Exactly.
And it's like you reading your adhkar in the morning could be the thing standing between you and death for that day, because for all we know it could have been something so much worse. And
exactly,
even the time I was in a car accident, the first thing my parents said was like, after everything was over, the first thing they asked me was, did you read your adhkar in the morning? I was like, yeah. And they're like, that is probably the reason that you've made it out alive. Basically what happened to me was that we were in this little minivan, and the van sort of flipped up like upside down a couple of times, rolled down a hill and stuff, and I ended up with like a seat on top of me. It had fallen out and landed on top of me. And then the first thing my dad asked before he even like pulling me out of the van was that, did you read your adhkar in the morning? I was like, yes. He was like, okay, good. That's why you're alive.
Yes, even that. I even something similar happened with my parents. And my parents were always like, even before I started driving, my parents taught me to read the adhkar and everything. And they're like, always remember to say that. So I always make sure that before I start driving, I always say that. So, you know, in ways I believe that, you know, that helped me as well, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's these little things. And like, I feel like another important thing that we should talk about is the fact that being a good person can actually take you so far. I feel like you might want to say this as well later, but the fact that people knew you, and like you said, that sports medicine professor, he knew you as a student because you would be, you know, in the front of the class and you'd interact with him. And the fact that like you're just a good person in general, this can take you so far. And,
yeah, that's the thing. Like so I remember my high school was a pretty horrible time. I was a very like I wasn't socially adept to everything. So I was a very shy kid and everything. And I was bullied a lot back in high school. I was bullied, bitten a lot. And it was high school was one time I don't want to go back to because of how horrible it was. And so I told myself that, all right, fine, let high school be over. Once I get into college, once I get into university, I'll be a totally different person, you know. I'll try to remove this social recluse out of me and try to be a better person, be outgoing. So that's what I did. As soon as I joined university, like I said, at the very first opportunity, I was like, I'm going to take the vice presidency of a club. I have no idea. Prior to that, I'd never had any leadership qualities, or I did not do any events or anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. But at the same time, I was like, I'm going to take the Islamic club and do what I can. And then I remember that I told myself that every time I meet someone, I'm going to greet him with the biggest smile possible, always give the biggest salam possible and everything. So I made it a goal to interact with each and every person I saw. So that's one thing I always did. And so I remember that. And so that's one thing I also believe really helped me in my case. I mean, I'm not saying that it was just because of that. The Alfaisal community will come together for anyone, for anywhere possible. But the fact that everyone knew me personally and everyone was hoping the best for me, they were praying for me, it helped my case as well. That
I'm sure it must
so have. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, just a simple smile to a person every day, just giving a salam. And even if you don't know the person, if you're just passing by the hallway, just give your salam, just give a smile, just ask how his day is going. And it can just...
it can really help you in the ways you don't even realize.
Pass on the kindness. Like you make him happy, he makes the next person happy, and it just becomes a cycle.
Right.
You know, so pass on the kindness as much as you can, and you always make sure that people around you are happy with your presence, you know,
with you being you. And
so that's what I say, that I believe that a big part of the money being raised and everything, all the help I received was the fact that I was always nice to the people around me, and the fact that they knew me, you know.
Right,
the fact that I've always been kind to anyone I could.
Right.
And so there were the deep care that people showed me was quite evident with everything that happened.
I feel like the way you treat people, you know how they say like treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
So you treat them well and they will treat you well.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, give back what you want in return. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So now I have to ask you, Nobi, if you could pass on like two messages to the audience here, or a couple, it doesn't have to be, it could be whatever you
Mm.
want. A few messages to the audience. What do you want them to leave this podcast with? Like, let's say they've listened to this episode. What is one thing or a few things that you want them to take away from this?
Mm. This is not a message, but it's just before we end this. One thing I would like to say is that I never got to thank anyone who helped me, because it was decided amongst everyone that like a few 10 or 11 people of my batchmates, they were the ones that helping the most. They gathered everything. They were raising the awareness of the situation and everything. They were informing everyone. They decided that it's best if I never know who the people were who helped, like who donated and everything, because they believe that it will make me insecure, that knowing this person donated this much, that person gave that much money. So they had a list and everything. They still have the list, and they're like, it's best if we keep it anonymous to Nobi. So to this day, I don't know a single person who helped, but to them, they said that it was a huge list of people that helped. So to them, and to whoever is listening right now, if you have helped me in any way, whether it be financially or emotionally or anything, and I never got a chance to say this, but I'm saying it now, that thank you for everything you've done, because it 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 really helped me in so many ways I can even begin to say.
I'm sure they must be smiling right now listening.
And so yeah,
because they're out there, they know exactly who you are.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like this is one memory of mine I don't ever want to live again. So at first I was kind of skeptical of doing the podcast. I really didn't want to do it.
Right.
And the only reason I'm willing to do this podcast was just so that I get a moment to thank everyone that helped me. So again, thank you all for that kindness you've showed me, and I hope that in some way, some other way, I can pass it on to the next person.
Inshallah, you pass it forward. We all do.
Yeah. And the next message I would like to say is that, and this is the most important thing I want everyone to get out of this podcast, is that it's never worth it to speed, just for a second of adrenaline rush, just because you see a gap and you want to cut or you want to cross a lane or everything. It's never worth it. Fine, the accident in my case wasn't my fault.
Right.
But at the same time, it could have been my fault. I could have hit someone else. I could have crashed into someone and everything. So just because you think you see an open road, just because you have a car that can match the speed or everything, the momentarily adrenaline rush just to speed up, it's not worth it.
Not worth it at all.
Just within a second, you can lose everything you have,
Right.
Like before the accident, if you asked me that, Nobi, what do you want? I would go like, I don't want anything. My life is perfect. I literally don't want anything. Like even the car I had, I was happy with it. It was one of my dream cars.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'm happy with everything. I have my parents and everything. But after the accident, it just all went downhill. And even to this day, there are so many things that are not going well in my life. But at the same time, it made me realize that how within a second you can lose everything. You can take things for granted. You should never take things for granted. Like always be humble and know that everything you own is never yours.
Right.
It all belongs to Allah.
That is true.
So always be humble.
I feel like that we forget a lot. You should say that again, just for emphasis.
Like always be humble. Like I remember the car.
Everything you have belongs to Allah. And at the end of the day, the only thing that's really yours is you and your like akhlaq and stuff. And that's all you're gonna go to Allah with. Like you're born with nothing, you die with nothing except your good deeds. That's all you have.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're just a traveler on this. That's it.
You're really just
yeah. So that's one thing. I'll never take pride in anything you own, because within a second you can lose everything. Like I said, before the accident, if you ask me what do you want, I would say I have everything. And now after the accident, I'm still recovering. It came to a point where I still cannot drive. I haven't driven a car ever since the accident. And even now, I'm on the road and I hear a screeching sound of tires. I still have a panic attack. I hyperventilating and I go into a shock mode as soon as I hear a screeching sound. Or anything that is speeding, or if someone changes a lane fast, it just hits me even until now. So that's one thing that I want every viewer, every listener right now to know, that no matter where you are, no matter how you're doing, never ever speed, because even it's better late than sorry. Like I was on time and everything, but at the same time, because of that one accident, I missed 2 blocks, and right now I'm 2 blocks behind my batch just because of that. So it's better to be late than sorry. You never know what can happen and what can do to you. So always be safe on the road. Make sure you're always wearing your seatbelt and always be safe. It's just for moments of adrenaline rush. It's not worth it.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today. I'm so grateful for you to, come out here and actually speak about this. I'm sure it must not have been easy. So, honestly, I'm still in shock from everything that I've just heard. It takes some time to absorb. But yeah, thank you so much, and we're incredibly grateful. And I'm sure our viewers, our audience is as well. And yeah, with that, I don't think I could possibly add anything to what you just said. That's it. That's all.
All right. And again, thank you, MSA, for giving me this opportunity to allow my message to go out. Like I said, the only reason I decided to do this is at least people can get to hear, or at least get a message out of the story,
Right.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I decided. So thank you, MSA, for allowing me this chance.
Honestly, your story is incredible. And may Allah make it easier for you to deal with everything that you're dealing with. And I'm sure there's still so much that you haven't told us that maybe you don't want to reveal. But, may Allah make it easier for you. And we're all on your side, and we're here to support you if you need it, So, yeah, and once again, thank you for coming out and sharing your story.